Well, across the world and wherever you are watching us, we are reaching you from the broadcasting station of Lagos Television here in Lagos, Nigeria. Thanking you again today for joining us on yet another time out on Issues and Trends, where we not only critically analyze in-depth analysis of issues, but we actually discuss very critically how this affects the entire socio-political and economic sector of the Nigerian state. And today, in this very special edition with a very special guest, we'll be looking at the reformation process in the education sector. Well, we will be meeting my guest after this time out, but then I must sincerely say a very big welcome for joining us on this very special edition of the program, Issues and Trends, reaching you from the broadcasting station of Lagos Television. We'll be right back after this time out. My guest today is no less a person but a woman of an outstanding pedigree. From available records before me, we know that she started her teaching career in the year 1997 at the Lagos State University, Ojo, Lagos. And we also understand from every available documented records that she rose through the ranks to becoming a professor in the Health Education Department of the Physical and Health Education in LASU. Aside that, my guest, by virtue of a commitment to service delivery and of course her passion for what she believes in very, very passionately, if you must say that, served in various capacities, so to speak, at the Lagos State University, starting from her acting as the acting Dean of Student Affairs at one time, Hall Warden at LASU Female Hostel, aside being the Sub-Dean at another time of the Faculty of Education, and Chairman of various committees, aside also being the Subject Coordinator of the Sandwich Degree Program of LASU. She was at another time the Class Advisor, University Treasurer, Academic Staff Union of Universities, and Member of Staff of School Management Committee, as well as Assistant Director, LASU Directorate of Advancement and Editor-in-Chief of Educational Perspectives. That is talking about the official journal of the Faculty of Education, LASU, as we speak. Well, before I go into all of that again, let's just say a very big welcome to Professor Bilkis Lafiaji Okuneye. It's a great honor to have you as my guest,
Thank you very
Prof.
much. It's my honor to be here too.
Well, you attracted my attention, and you know what I'm trying to say here, Prof. You attracted my attention at the just concluded 7th Biennial Conference of the Committee of Pro-Chancellor of State-Owned Universities in Nigeria, CAPSAN, which of course we held at the Marriott Hotels and of course at other venue. So today, looking back at what took place at that Biennial Conference and what today became the issues raised at that time now being the front burner of discourse nationally today, it says a lot about what you envisioned at that time to what we're saying now. Was it to say that you were really prepared for what was coming, or you had a vision of what is to come, to have put together the theme of that biennial conference, effective tertiary university governance, role of stakeholders? What prompted that in the first instance?
Yeah, thank you very much. I also want to say that I appreciate the fact that I'm being brought here to discuss this issue. Responding to what you have just asked, the conference was put together by pro-chancellors of state-owned university and is held once in 2 years. That's why it's called biennial. When the theme of the conference was to be discussed, we felt that there are various issues that come on when you talk about university management and the governing council. University management is a stakeholder. The governing council of any university or institution at all is also a very great stakeholder. There have been issues about CNHA, about working together. They want to achieve the same purpose, but you see sometimes they work at cross purposes, though they want to achieve the same purpose. There is not so much understanding some governing council chairmen will post themselves as sole administrators, whereas everyone has his own role. Governing council is government in council. Anyone who is chosen...
Government council is government in council. As in government in council, not any other thing.
No. Okay. Government in council. It means that they are to form policies. They are to implement policies. They are not to see to the day-to-day running of the institution. But anything that concerns policies, issue of lease, any other issue that the management could not trash will be taken to the council. The council is the overall decision maker for the university governance. Now, because of what had been observed over the years, there must be synergy between these two stakeholders. And for effective governance, of course, everybody must know their roles. We have observed that some universities do not run well because the vice chancellor, who is the head of management, and the chairman of council do not understand. The pro-chancellor.
They are working at
cross purposes. Yes. And the reason for this is not far-fetched. Everyone must understand his role. If you understand your role and you perform your role the way it should be performed, there wouldn't be any problem. So we saw that, and we felt that for this 7th Biennial Conference, it should be effective governance. More so that our democracy is stabilizing.
It should be effective
governance.
More so that our democracy is
stabilizing.
What are you trying to make out of that?
Yeah, I'm trying to say that this is the 25th year of democracy in Nigeria. Before now, we know what we experienced. There were teething problems, but now stability is coming up. So for that stability to be well established in every sphere of life, the university also has to tag along.
The university must tag along.
Must tag along.
And they just must tag along.
Sure.
Why must they tag along?
They must tag along because we churn out graduates and we send them into the society. How will they be able to cope with the society if university community does not tag along? So we must tag along. We must understand the role of everyone in this situation and then be able to churn out policy that will be friendly, people friendly.
Turning out policies
that will be people friendly.
That must be people friendly.
Sure.
What are you thinking when you said that?
Yeah. You see, let me come down to the issue, the burning issue now. You know, there is a economic recession.
Globally. It's a global thing. It's a global thing.
Let me just give you an instance. I was in the US about 3 weeks ago, and I couldn't buy an handkerchief.
In the US?
Yes.
You could not even buy an handkerchief.
An handkerchief.
So it's not even a Nigeria problem.
Not at all.
It's not even a Nigeria challenge.
It's global.
It's a global challenge.
It's global. The t-shirt I used to buy for $10 was $25-30. Yes. It's a practical experience for me. So when people say there's so much hardship, it's everywhere. We were at Singapore some 2 years back, and the same thing. So it's not that it's peculiar to Nigeria. So what I'm saying in this instance that people friendly. For example, in the area of school fee.
School fees?
Yeah, for the students. The university should be able to come up with a realistic school fees, given the situation that we are now.
Factoring.
Yeah.
Considering, taking critically this point that we are in a global recession. So the issue of school fees must be a concern.
It must be a concern. Will they be able to afford it? If you don't make the policy that will be friendly, then we'll be having so many dropouts. People will not want to, of course, access education. And thank God for this student loan. Even with the student loan, I tell you that there will still be some persons who may not be able to afford.
Even with the student loan?
Yeah. Who may not be able to access. Though every consideration had been put in place. All consideration have been put in place. They would not be asking for the payment of the 2 years after graduation. All the factors are there. But when I say that people friendly, in terms of school fees, in terms of lecture schedule, in terms of teaching in the sense that it is COVID has taught us that we can't do things as we're doing them pre-COVID.
Yes.
COVID has taught us that
Brought
we
in
can work remotely.
a new era.
Yeah, we can work remotely. So who says that students cannot have lectures remotely?
From home.
Yeah.
It was a practical experience on the COVID.
Exactly.
And it's applicable as we still
As we speak. Because in my school, we have what is called blended teaching, hybrid, where you can also access your classroom virtually. So all of these are people-friendly policies that will make education seamless. And so people can afford education. Because if you have to go to school every day, how about the transportation? You have to also get a hostel. But when you learn remotely, I'm not saying absolute. I'm not saying absolute. We have not gotten there.
But we can get there.
We can get there. We can get there. So these are some of the issues that Governing Council can look into, because they're the one that regulate school fees. They're the one that regulate school fees and some other policies of the university. They can come up with the issue of scholarship. A university can give scholarship to students. A university can have a flexible payment of school fees. And these are people-friendly policies that the Governing Council can take, decisions that they can take. So when you have effective governance, as you said earlier, it could be in this area that have been mentioned, that have been outlined. There are several others.
Enhance valuable impact of practical understanding of how this should work together.
Yeah. That's it. Because we should also be mindful of the fact that if students are not in that environment, there can be a teacher.
And there can be an institution.
There can be an institution. And there can be a governing council.
Absolutely.
So what are you governing if there are no students? So in this situation, in any institution, student is the major stakeholder.
The student is the key stakeholder.
Yeah, is a major stakeholder.
Is the foundational foundation.
Sure.
Now, when we look at what you have just analyzed, let us do a comparative analysis here. And what I mean by a comparative analysis here is appreciative that the steps that have been taken to synergize the existential relationship between the pro-chancellors, of course the management as well, and of course seeing how all of this play out to give beneficial impact to students who are the key factor. Yeah. But when we do a comparative analysis with what we are doing now and what is also obtainable in other climes, can we say that we can really match and be able to be at par with what is obtainable there to give this seeming succor to our people here?
Yeah, we can. Because, of course, in the selection of members of council, they are people of pedigree. Government usually go out to look for people who have some kind of integrity.
Pedigree.
Pedigree. Careful selection.
Pedigree.
Of people who are movers and shakers of the society. You are not there as the chairman of council because of the purpose of having to get one
allowances no.
You are there as chairman of council to intervene where management meets a brick wall, because it's a political appointment. Where management meets a brick wall, you can intervene on behalf of management.
It's an intervention.
Yeah, intervention kind of. So if you are there, we are almost there, because I tell you, in the state-owned university in Lagos, the composition of the governing council are people of high integrity and pedigree. You talk about my chairman, the pro-chancellor of my school, I give it to her.
That's Sumoni from Ghana.
Sumoni is for LASO. And you know Sumoni was a civil servant.
A former accountant, general permanent secretary.
Yeah, thank you.
State Treasury Office.
So he has some pedigree. My own pro-chancellor was a two-time commissioner.
In Lagos State.
In Lagos State.
What's his name again? I forgot now.
Her name?
Yes.
Alaja Sekinat Yusuf.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
And talk of LASUSTEC. LASUSTEC pro-chancellor is a professor in UNILAG. So these are people that government are carefully selected because they know they have some pedigree. They are
relating to that specialized calling and service to labor.
My own pro-chancellor was a commissioner for education during the Mara era.
Yusuf, that's correct.
Yeah. And Sumoni, of course, had also understood the runnings of government. So you can see that government has given us very good leverage
to connect. And let the synergy work. The way to work.
And they are giving them free hand to operate because they believe in them.
Using their years of experience, bringing it to bear.
Yeah. So we are already there. I won't say we'll get there.
We are there. Marching to meet the standard.
Hardly will you hear of stories about management in any of the state-owned university. Management being at loggerheads, we cancel. No.
It used to be.
It's no more. It's no more. We are there already.
All right, we talked about pedigree here, and from what I have, my prof, I'm always happy when I call you that, prof, because you earned it. You did not just... there's something they said about you here, that Professor Bidemi Bilkis Lafiaji Okuneye was an international handball player that represented Nigeria in many championships and competitions outside the shores of this country, including Sweden, Denmark, France, and Norway, and that you were the number one goalkeeper of the defunct Jegede Babes.
That's right.
That is one. And another one said you are a member of many professional bodies like International Council of Health, Physical Education, Recreation, Sports and Dance, Nigeria Association of Physical Health Education, Recreation, Sports and Dance. You love dancing, I think. And they also said that you are the National Association Sports Science and Medicine and Nigerian School Health Association. How does this connect with your appointment today as the Vice Chancellor? Talking about pedigree, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How is it connecting with that department which you graduated from?
Okay.
What input? What has changed? Using that your years of experience to change the narrative in physical health department in Lasso.
Thank you very much. You see, I would say that I got into that profession by providence.
By providence.
By providence. I wasn't out to study physical and health education. I never heard about it. I was just a Ropak girl. Ropak. You know Ropak in Yaba?
I know why.
That's where I grew up. That's my home, my second home.
That's right.
So opposite casino.
That's correct.
Yeah. So I do sport. I started sport when I was in class 1. A coach was assigned to my school and I got interested. I joined. At that year, we traveled to Sweden for under 12. So then I picked interest and I was into that. But of course, I also had mind I want to go to school, higher institution.
Much do you have that keen interest in sports?
I just have that passion for education. So while I was trying to do that, I wrote JAM that year, and JAM jammed me.
I like that word. Jammed you.
Oh yeah. So I didn't get the required marks because I didn't know that the syllabus of JAM is different from O levels.
That's right.
I was just reading at home. So I couldn't make the cutoff point.
And JAM just jammed you.
It jammed me.
And that didn't discourage you anyway.
It didn't. I was thinking I want to be a mass communicator. I wanted to do something like this. Yeah. So I obtained the form of Ogun State Polytechnic to read mass communication. But for indigenship, I couldn't get admitted.
Another jamming.
Yeah. So I came back to Lagos and they told me that there's a form in Lasso, a diploma in physical and health education. I said, as long as I want to go to school.
You wouldn't mind?
I wouldn't mind. And I just got in. And play, you know.
It came to reality?
It came to reality. And I had the required point to move to the degree class. I moved into the degree class at 200 level. I was the best graduating student on my set. And I was retained after my NYSC. That was why I started my career in 1997. I've not worked in any other area apart from the university. So when I started, of course, I just put my mind to what I do.
Your passion.
Because my philosophy is anything worth doing at all is worth doing well. I just put myself into any work. I don't know people were watching. I was just doing.
You were committed.
I was committed.
You were dedicated.
Yeah, I was just
doing
my thing. You were
passionately concerned.
Yeah.
You were just doing your thing.
I was just naturally.
Good to know.
And after a while, I enrolled for masters. I enrolled for PhD in UI, and I got my PhD in 2005. And that was it. I started climbing. So when I tell my students,
You're telling your story.
I tell my student my story that I wanted to be a mass communicator. But of course,
and you have a good
I'm
voice.
gathering you.
You have a good voice, you know that.
I'm gathering you. I'm teaching you. I am mass communicating already.
That's true.
So my life dream has been achieved.
By extension.
By extension. By extension. Because I wanted to be a newscaster.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my ambition.
You have a good voice, no doubt about that. You have a good voice.
So putting all this together, people were watching. And I was so committed to what I'm doing. I was committed. And people were watching. I was getting promotion until I was appointed as provost of Adeniro Ogunsanya College of Education. I didn't put my mind. If I tell you the story of how I became the provost, it's
another story entirely.
It's a story for
Providence again.
Yeah, Providence.
Providence again. Providence came to there.
I tell you.
You are a child of destiny.
Yeah, I am. That is just it.
A child of destiny.
Yeah, I am. It's a story for another day.
No, you come back to tell the story.
Putting all that together, putting all this together, and having the passion, the commitment, and the dedication was what brought me to where I am today.
So how was this translated? Because we came to this point because you said the selection of the government council, they are people of outstanding pedigree. That led us to where we are.
Yeah.
So how has this impacted your input in letting them understand, bringing your years of experience to bear when issues are being discussed to further elevate the status of our stakeholders and of course the need for that synergy to work together for the good of the students in our university?
You see, for all the experience I have garnered over the years, I think it was not very difficult for me to fit into that role. I had never been deputy vice chancellor. I had never been dean of a faculty. So having to fit into that role, I think without being a modest, it's been impactful. Because it also goes to say that interpersonal relationship is key.
Interpersonal, I must get that. Interpersonal relationship is key.
You have to relate well with whoever is your chairman and pro-chancellor. You have to calm down because you are a professor. Does not mean you don't have a boss. The pro-chancellor is my boss.
That's right.
And so I have to give it to her. She directs. She gives me instruction. In fact, she's such a funny woman that anytime there is an issue, if she says, Billy, I know I've offended her. But if she says, hey, VC, I know that is a good, it's a good
I like that. I like
so when she says, Billy, mommy, what have I done wrong? Now she'll start talking. That is the kind of relationship we have.
So when I say Billy here now, what would you say?
No. There's no... there have not been a relationship.
Interesting.
So that is the impact that can have if there is a good relationship between the management and the council.
It will help elevate.
It will help elevate, improve the system. The system will be peaceful and calm. But when you have internal wranglings,
that's right,
it's going to be a problem. So the impact it has that I have garnered experiences over the years. I have worked with difficult bosses that I have to just tolerate them. So fitting
even
into
though you are a prof.
Yeah, that is it.
But you understand that there is a leader, someone who must
definitely.
tell.
Definitely, even amongst us as professors.
That's right.
There are senior, very
senior professors. That's right.
So you don't come out to say, I'm a professor. When a Professor Bamiru, a former UI VC,
a well-respected,
renowned professor,
international.
Okay, Bukola, emeritus.
Of course.
And they say, oh yeah, professors line up, and you come. No, you dare not stand beside them, even though you are a professor.
You must recognize that.
That's respect. Regard. It is what you do unto them that those behind you will also do unto you.
It's a natural law of justice, fairness.
It is. So when you have all of this, tell me you can't have problem in the governance. There are rules. In fact, university administration should be the most simple mode of administration.
From your understanding and experience.
It runs on committee system. The vice chancellor is a coordinator. You want a job done, constitute a committee. The committee will report back to you. You want to do the errands on committee system. So the vice chancellor's job is that of coordination.
And why the pro-chancellor's job?
Is to direct the vice chancellor on issues of policies. The rules are there. The regulations are there. The vice chancellor, all the vice chancellor needs to do is to fit into that rules and regulation.
And that connects.
Yeah, that's all.
And it's seamless.
Yeah.
All right, Prof, let's get to understand this, that to the glory of God, you have earned many awards of excellence from organizations, groups, and stakeholders across diverse works and calling. At the then Adeniran Ogunsoya College of Education, your distinction of being the first and only professor, to have been appointed as a provost speaks volume. In addition, you are currently, of course, the pioneer vice chancellor of the State University in Laswed Otojanaki today. What does it say to you? Hard work or what? What does it tell you? Does it give you a rekindling of nostalgic experiences to now say, oh, me today? Like you said, you're a child of destiny.
Yeah.
How do you connect with that I've just said?
I can't say hard work because there are so many other persons who are more hardworking. There are so many other persons who are more dedicated. I'm just lucky to be one among several other people.
You are just lucky.
I'm just
to
lucky.
be one.
Yeah. To be picked among several. There are several people that are good. So it's not hard work. It's just the way. It's just the will of God.
The will of God.
It's just the will of God. I'm not the best. We have some other people who are better than me. But it's the will of God that at a particular time, you'll be there.
At a particular time?
Yeah.
When it's your turn?
Yeah, exactly.
When God so says?
Yeah, that's it.
It will be your time.
It's not hard work. It's not hard work. But I'm trying to be hardworking so that I can have some kind of legacies. As the first professor to be appointed.
The first?
And then the first person to move the college, I would say the person to move the college from a college of education to a university. It took a lot of effort to do that. And so, if I tell you that it's hard work, I may not be saying the correct thing. I'm just lucky.
It's grace.
Yeah, it's the grace of
God. It's the grace.
Yeah.
I'm coming somewhere with all of this analysis.
Okay.
And I'm sure you'll be able to respond to that. Okay, let me conclude with this point before now taking you to that broader angle of our discourse. That's here it is said that through your commitment, dedication, and unique leadership, I want to emphasize that, that your unique leadership style, that you played a crucial role in the transmutation of Adeniran Ogunsoya College of Education to Lagos University of Education today, and that you equally put the needed framework in place to facilitate the approval of 66 programs by the National Universities Commission (NUC), culminating into the admission of the pioneer set of undergraduates in that school.
Yeah.
To you, how do you feel being given such a recognition?
Thank you very much. It's just a modest achievement. There are several others that I wish to achieve before I leave. Being the pioneer vice chancellor comes with a lot of challenges. And how I have been able to overcome these challenges, first I would say by His grace, but at the same time, this interpersonal relationship is key too. I was appointed as a staff of LASU, so I didn't go into a familiar terrain. It was not a familiar terrain to me. And you can then imagine the kind of resistance that may be put up. There was resistance. But in order to ensure that I have a smooth takeoff, I had to bring myself down to their level. Because people were just wondering that, could she be the provost? I just walk in the midst of students. I relate with staff the way I will relate normal with my colleagues, because I didn't understand the terrain. And I have to understand. It's a college of education. I have just told you that I started my career in the university. I never had the opportunity of even having something to do with college of education. So it was not a familiar terrain to me, but I took my time to study the terrain.
You took your time?
I took my time.
To study the terrain?
I took my time. I didn't rush into it. And again, in that kind of position, you should not be vindictive.
One should not be vindictive.
No, if you are vindictive, then you run into problem.
In such situations?
Yeah.
You shouldn't
Some
be vindictive.
persons will deliberately provoke you. Deliberately. How do you handle that? You be calm. Such person will return back to you to ask for one favor or the other.
Along the line?
Oh yes. What do you do in that situation? Give it to him or her. And then remind him or her. So you could come back. I'm doing this because of God. But if you say, because you have done that, I'm not going to give it to you, it's a wrong one. For an administrator.
Evil for evil.
For an administrator, you even get it wrong for an administrator. Let whatever is done remain where it is. And then deal with individual on merit. Not picking on what they say. There are several words that have been said to me. As dean of student, I had a student who actually confronted me one-on-one and really insulted me. But I didn't utter a word. As a dean of student, I didn't utter a word. They were having elections. And I said he could not contest. And he was just ranting, matching up. Will I be engaging with such person? No, I didn't. I just kept my mute. The very next day, this boy came into my office and prostrated. I said, what is it about? I'm sorry, ma. I insulted. Oh, did you really insult me? Oh, that is a foregone issue. And now when I tell you I'm a person, when I tell you something is foregone, it's foregone. I don't dwell on issues. So I just told him it's a foregone issue. Do you know that this boy ran into problem? I was the one that solved the problem. He's in the UK now. He ran into problem with his courses. And because I want him to have that understanding that it's a foregone issue, when he came to me, I stood up to go and assist him.
You stood for him?
I stood for him.
You stood by him?
Yeah. So as an administrator, you have to let go a lot of things. If you really want to run that administration.
As an administrator?
You have to let go a lot of things. A lot of things. You have so much workload and you are still putting somebody's problem in your head. You may go mad. Because a lot of things are in your head. You are picking on little things. So for me, it's been that. And if you say award, some award. I'm not a fan of award. I usually run. I don't like awards.
Why? Why don't you like awards?
It's just personal. I don't like it. I believe that some may not be, how will I say, some may be pretense.
Not genuine.
Not genuine.
Not earned.
Not
deserving.
Not deserving.
They just wanted to.
They just want
to get.
So
you avoid it.
I avoid it. I don't like award though. If you call me that you are giving me an award, I will say, because I believe whatever you tell. I don't like praises. Don't praise me. I tell my staff, I don't want praising. Mama Remarque, I don't like it.
That's right.
Tell me.
As it is.
Whatever is left to be done. What is left to be done? That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear you are doing it well. Don't deceive me. I cannot be doing all.
And
that has actually helped me a lot. It has helped me in the administration. Though there are still some challenges here and there. But they are not insurmountable.
They are not insurmountable.
They are not. They are not insurmountable.
But that's understanding of being submissive.
Yeah, you have to.
Of studying.
Yeah.
Of letting go.
Letting go.
Of forgiving.
Yeah.
Is a good spirit.
Forgiving.
That's right.
Is key.
All right, we'll take a break at this point, and when we come back, we will take our discussion again from here, and we'll look at some other issues of concern as it concerns the reforming process of tertiary institutions for the good and collective interest of the country today. At least we're talking about a global movement. Are we really moving globally with the global world? Is another question. This we will answer when we come back. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, my guest that I've been speaking with is Professor Bidemi Bilkis Lafiaji Okuneye, the Vice Chancellor of the Lagos State University of Education, LASUED. And we've been going through a lot and analyzing so many issues. And it's good to have you again, Prof. Now, let us take it now from the perspective of the discourse now that is broad. There were some salient issues raised at the biennial conference. One was this issue of age for admission into the Nigerian universities. And I do know that the Registrar of JAMB, Professor Ishak Oloide, spoke at that time, at that conference, and was very insistent, given a narrative of what happened some time back, and which of course led us to where we are today, the controversy that is trending. Should it be 16? Should the government accept 16 years of age as admission for entry, or 18 should be the benchmark? Okay. What is your take, because you were there? Yeah. Let us analyze this. Is there confusion today?
Yeah. If you say it's a confusion, I don't believe it's a confusion.
No, don't let me use the word confusion. Let me say it is a controversy.
Okay, controversy. Yeah, it would be a controversy because we didn't get it right.
We did not get it right.
We did not get it right.
Where did we get it? Where did we get it wrong?
When did we start using 16 years of age? When did it start? Did we, you and I, did we enter into the university at the age of 16?
Definitely not.
The generation before now did not enter the university at the age of 16. The education system that we practice in Nigeria is the 6334 system of education.
That's right.
Where a child, and this is my personal opinion. Okay, I will wrap it up with my personal opinion concerning the 16 and 18. But let me just give the background. 6334 indicates that you enter the primary school at the age of 6. By 12 years, you are out of the primary school. You have 3 years at the junior secondary school, 3 years at the senior secondary school, that's 18. And so,
and 4 years university.
4 year university. That's why it's 6, 3, 3, 4. And as at the last check, that's what we still operate. So where do we turn it to 16? At what point? Now, parents are quick to take their children to school. Some children start schooling at age 3, age 4. Some children finish primary school at the age of 9, 8, 9, and they enter into the secondary school without being matured for that learning process. Maturity goes with teaching.
Without being matured.
With learning.
For that learning process. Yeah. And maturity goes with teaching.
Learning. It goes with learning. You see, it is not just to cram concepts. You must be able to comprehend concepts. I'll give you a quick example. When I was in the secondary school, I do not like biology. Unfortunately, the course I eventually studied had a lot of human biology. But I do not like biology. Flowering plant, what is it called? Spirogera and all the likes of it. And they were cramped. Those concepts were crammed for the purpose of passing the subject. It was at the university that I started comprehending what they meant.
It was at the university.
It was at the university.
You started understanding what they meant.
I'm telling you. That means maturity goes with learning.
Maturity.
It's not just to cram. You take a child to school now. First week in school, they will start reeling out Abia Humaya, Adamawa Yola, and they will be able to reel out state and capital, 36 state and capital. Is that learning? It's not learning. It's cramming. They can't comprehend it. Puncture it and say Ekiti. That child has to start all over again. Do you understand?
I do understand.
So, when did we put the benchmark? The age at 16. At what point? It was a norm that was going on until it was a trend that was until it became a norm.
That wasn't checked.
Yeah.
When the trend was trending.
Exactly.
It wasn't checked.
Until it became a
norm.
Yeah. Nobody fixed age at 16. No one. You can fact check.
But it was a trend.
It was a trend.
That became a norm.
Yeah.
And we just accepted it.
Accepted
like
it.
And no
like
one
that.
was questioned.
Yeah, no one was questioned. Now, what now brought us back to the age of to that 18 is because of what we are experiencing in the university system.
Experiences like
These children are not matured for university education. They go into various vices. They are the generation that will be provoked a little, and they will say they are depressed. When you and I were growing up, what do we understand by depression? But the child will tell you now, I am depressed. And everybody will begin to run helter-skelter. You cannot beat a child now. They say, oh, it is child abuse. Whereas, I'm not a Christian, but I know a Bible passage says, Aya ọmọdé ni wèrèdìsí ẹgbàá máa lè jáde. Spare the rod and spoil the child.
That's right.
But let them get into school. They finish secondary school at the age of 13, and parents alter age, falsify their age to become 16 so that they can get into the university. And they get into university and we become in loco parentis. When we become in loco parentis, it means that we take care of these children while they are in school, when their parents are not there. And when they do all these vices, their parents are not aware. They go into drugs. They can't take decisions by themselves. You know? And you know, in the university education, it is assumed that you are matured. You live in a hostel, you are alone. Freedom.
There will not be any reversal. The Ministry of Education has done its diligent work. This came to FEC, the Federal Executive Council. I was part of FEC at that time, led by our chairman, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Ministry of Education gave full briefing on this, and we have FEC approval. So there will not be any reversal to the decisions that have been taken.
But before you leave, what is your submission here?
My submission is 18 years.
And you will defend that when you come?
Oh yes. My submission, 18. If I have a child, already I have a child who could be finishing secondary school at the age of 16. Because it was a trend I told you.
Yes.
At the age of 16. But it will enter the university by whatever age government sets. 18 years.
We will not be going forward with the 18 years. We will go back to what we had before, 16 years. We will work with JAM and our university to ensure that people that are matriculating into their universities will be around 16 years. There will be exception for gifted children who can have an earlier part. But the 18-year for going to the university is not part of the education policy again.
Your message now, parting words with us?
My parting words as regards this, is personal one or
personal?
Just
the way you feel?
Yeah, personal is that, like I said, my philosophy, anything worth doing at all is worth doing well. Be the best at whatever you do.
And the second part of the series, to conclude that which must be concluded, raising other issues of concern, special centers concern, and that which have been raised, and this controversy surrounding this education sector in Nigeria today. We thank you for today. On behalf of the entire crew, thank you again. We'll see you next week.